Hello and welcome to episode 42 of the Tent Talks podcast. My name's Joe, I'm a Beaver leader and network member in Worcestershire, and this month on the podcast I'm joined by three other members of Black Pear Network. So we have...
Hi, I'm Ali.
Hello, I'm Sarah.
Hi, I'm Sam.
And with us in spirit, Steve is somewhere, I don't really know where, probably gone back to the campsite. And also with us is our DofE assessor that confusingly is also called Joe. So we're about 20-ish minutes into our walk, and just like last time, if you listened to our previous episode, we're going to take you along our journey of our Duke of Edinburgh Gold Award expedition. Now last time we did it across the Yorkshire Dales, and it was a 3-day expedition. This time we're in the Lake District and we're doing a 4-day expedition. So we drove up last night, but that doesn't count as a day. So this is day 1.
Hello and good morning, this is Sarah. We've just finished our first leg and a little bit more. And where we've got to now is just south of Ulfa Park, called Small Waith. We started up in Ulfa itself by their church, came down Rainsbury Wood, that's very nice. Only had one bull in it that we ended up not seeing, so potentially 0 bulls. And then we continued down into Ulfa Park, caught the road into the open access land, and then into the woods. Technically following a footpath, it doesn't really exist. So we've just been slowly going through it in the Martians. Very pretty. Very bug prone though. There's quite a few bug bites we've gotten. And we've just jumped over the wall fence and we are now back in the open access land. So yeah, we will continue to catch the road again and continue up further up into the hills.
Hello, so we've stopped for lunch, just the other side of the small forest where you last heard from us. We got across the bit of open access land by doing a bit of leapfrogging, a bit like we did on our practice expedition. We've then walked down into Fenwick where we met Steve, our supervisor, and then we've just walked down towards a little nice stream which you can probably hear in the background over a footbridge, and we're just admiring the small waterfall at the moment.
Okay, so while we were walking around Swinside Fell, we met Steve, we refilled with water, we had a few snacks, and then we continued on. It became very clear to us that our route was going to be blocked by a fence as we were in open access land. So we were just hoping that we'd be able to get through. So what we've decided to do, we've retraced our steps and we're going to come all the way the opposite way round the hill in the hopes of being able to rejoin our route further around the hill. Hello and welcome to day 2. So last night we got back about 2 hours later than planned following our slight detour. We then had pasta-ish for dinner. As seems to be now our track record, we messed up the pasta. Correction, I messed up the pasta. Kind of burnt some of it. Whoops. We managed to miss the Northern Lights because most of us had gone to sleep. I saw a little bit of it about 10:30ish last night. Steve saw most of it. Yeah, as I say, the Northern Lights were sort of over the UK today, which is the 11th of May. So yeah, it's about 9:15, so we're setting off in a little bit of time, and we will see Steve at some point.
Hello, I'm doing a little bit of walking. It is a really hot day. It was yesterday as well. I don't know how hot it is, but I think it's going to be around 20-ish today. We've done some walking across the train line. We had to wait 3 minutes and wanted to be safe. Apart from being really hot, nothing's happened majorly to say.
Okay, so we're about 3/4 of the way through our day 2 route now. So we ended up going through Lady Hall and meeting Steve just at a small B road, and then we've headed through a few farmers' fields, past a bit of woodland, and then up into the main A road where we met Steve again. Then crossed over the main A road and walked through the forest to Dudden Bridge. There was so many bluebells all the way through that wood, and we decided to have lunch there. Again, met Steve down at Dudden Bridge, as it's quite a major road crossing. Yeah, Steve didn't want to see us run over, really. And now, after walking through a few more fields, we're now just sat in another little bluebell forest. They seem to have quite a lot of those up here, and yeah, we're hopefully not too far off. How's everyone feeling?
Very sore.
Very warm, shall we say, although currently sat in the shade.
Aching.
Yeah, so all feeling the heat and the exhaustion, shall we say.
Yeah, so we've just been jumping between all of the bits of shade, trying to cool off while we can, but I don't think there's going to be much shade coming up, pretty much until we're at the campsite again. So, yay!
Good evening, this is Sarah, right at the end of day 2 for us. Had a few little exciting bits, including me falling onto a fence and Sam's shoelaces not holding up after 5 years. How could they? They are currently being held together by a bit of compass string. Hope they survive the rest of the week. But yeah, we managed to pick up our trail and just continue it down. Long stretch of slightly uphill, but at least it was in shade. We're at a very nice campsite now, called Mosside. We've managed to get an empty field, so we won't be kept up until 12 o'clock. We had a chat with Joe, not Joe, the podcast host, but Joe, our assessor, about tomorrow, as there is a thunderstorm warning right about the time when we will be on top of the hill. But it has lessened, so it's more likely it'll be in the early evening, and it's more a warning than a forecast now. So, fingers crossed, we can continue with our actual route, and if not, we will dynamically change our route and change the risk assessments for it, as I don't really want to figure out how do we make up a lightning rod on the middle of a hill. Hopefully the rest of the evening goes okay, and we will probably be very asleep. We have missed the Northern Lights at least a good couple times, but I do not have the energy in me to keep myself up until then. So, another day. Bye-bye.
Hello and welcome to day 3 of our adventure across the Lake District. So, my day of navigating today, so we will probably get lost. Got a bit of a flatter walk today, so we're starting off at Mosside Farm campsite, and then we're going to adventure through some fields, up what looks to be a bit of a hill, but not right to the top of the hills, and through some more fields. We don't want to go too much into the top of the hills, but I think we might end up later. But obviously, as Sarah said last night, there is the thunderstorm warning, so we will take it by ear and adjust the route if necessary. We've got about 40-ish metres of elevation today, which I think is slightly less than what we've had previously. The route is more distance rather than elevation, so looking about 16-ish kilometres plus however much we add on by getting lost. As I say, starting off at Mosside campsite, finishing off at a car park because we couldn't quite actually get the route to go to our campsite itself. And then tomorrow we'll be dropped back at said campsite, and we will I think we've got a slightly shorter walk tomorrow because obviously we've got to drive home, which is a good 3-ish, maybe 4 hours, depending how many times we stop down the M6. So yeah, as I say, a bit of a flatter route today, but still a good amount of elevation.
Hello everyone. This is a sadder update where we are celebrating the life and times of our missing gas bottle, which I followed some very expert advice about not keeping your gas bottle in your bag in case it gets punctured and then you've got gas everywhere. So I was like, sounds like a plan, I'll put it on the outside of my bag. And I had to put 2 on the outside of my bag this morning, and I think that was a little bit too much for either my brain or my bag to handle, and it has disappeared into the ether. Long may it rain, rest in peace. So when we noticed at our first morning break, half of our group went off to go search for it up until about 1.5 miles away, about where we felt comfortable leaving the rest of them, because we didn't want to separate too badly. And no luck, so we have decided to sacrifice one of them, as we do have another gas bottle, and it's only for, well, dinner and breakfast tomorrow morning, which I think with our expert cooking skills we might be able to manage. It might be slightly cold noodles though, but yeah, unfortunately my bad. To be clear, we are going back for it later. Like, I'm not gonna leave dangerous flammable material out in the countryside, but yeah, for now on our expedition we just have the one. Hello, this is Sarah again. We have just stopped for lunch at Greaves Ground, which is just a little bit off of the access land around Torva Low Common. It is relatively cloudy, which is much more preferable than it was the last 2 days, I have to say. If it could have been like this for those 2 days, I would have had a much better time. But we do have the risk of thunderstorms coming in that we've mentioned, and we've just been replanning our route a little bit, just so we're not right at the top of the hill with no road access if the thunderstorm comes in at that point. So we were originally planning to go over the Blarwith Fells, I'm probably mispronouncing that quite badly, along the Cumbria Way, and then break off and get down to Wateryeat or Fairholme Green, but instead we will be catching the Cumbria Way in the opposite direction and taking a footpath down and then back to our car park, which will be our finish point for today. But yeah, it has meant that we don't get to see the Beacon Tarn, but if it's seeing the Beacon Tarn and being electrified or not doing those things, I think I'll take the not doing those things. And also I'm ambient van sounds. Yeah, we have also found the gas bottle, or I should say our supervisor Steve has found the gas bottle. So revived, may live again, but we can't use it anymore. We have sacrificed it to the great beyond. So yeah, cooking will be fun tonight.
Good morning and welcome to day 4. So a little bit of a change in weather, quite drastically. As you know, a bit of thunder and lightning last night, but it wasn't too bad in the end. However, the rain has very much arrived. It's still drizzly, but a nice break from the extreme heat. So, Ali, where are we going today? As Ali is chief navigator.
Over hill to a place called Grisdale, which has Go Ape, which you can't go over.
Grisdale Forest is where we are heading for. So yeah, about 14-ish kilometres today, which is slightly shorter than previous days. However, I think we will be walking slightly slower than we have for the first 3 days. And the first thing on the route, a nice big hill, just as we all love it. But following that, there isn't too much hill after that. It's sort of get up and then slowly make our way back down. So yeah, that's day 4. And yeah, we will see you at some point.
Hello everyone, this is Sarah on our last day, and I'm in much higher spirits and higher elevation than we have been for the rest of the walk. Surprisingly enough, we are actually ahead of schedule, which is very good, but I don't know how long that will last. We will keep you posted. But yeah, we are just about 50 metres off the height of where we're going to at Highlight Hall. Highlight Empowered Women. But yeah, we're trying to catch the footpath, which will take us down to Sellside, and we'll continue on. Hopefully, if the clouds clear up, we'll get a very nice view over Coniston Water, looking over onto Old Man of Coniston, which currently is shrouded in clouds, and it had to be on our last day that we get all the clouds. But yeah, we should then head into Grisdale Forest and up to the viewpoint for a very special day for Ali, who will become a member of Black Pear Network, if he can make it there. Okay, see you for now.
Well, you join us up at Carron Crag now in Grisdale Forest. Bit of a steep climb up because the path we were supposed to be taking was closed for maintenance, meaning we had to go the long way round up to the trig point at the top. And yeah, we're not too far away from the visitor centre now. Hopefully it'll be an alright descent, but the uphill was quite steep. But anyway, we're going to start investing Ali into Worcester Black Pear now, so you can listen to that.
Ali, would you like to become part of Worcester Black Pear Network?
Yes.
Okay, so if everybody makes the step outside, and do you know your promise?
Yes.
So you don't want to repeat after me?
No.
Okay, so you say you promise?
On my honour, I promise to do my best to do my duty to God to help with the people and to keep the scalp law.
Okay, so welcome to Black Pear Network, and for the recording I have just put a neck around Ali's head and given him his badges, and we're shaking our left hand. There we go. From me, from Joe, our assessor, from Steve, our supervisor, as well as from Sarah, from Ali and from Sam, we do really hope that you've enjoyed this episode of the Tent Talks podcast. Please feel free to check out Scouts Black Pear on social media, as well as the Tent Talks podcast online at tenttalks.org.uk. Until next time, we hope you've really enjoyed this episode. Thank you for listening.
I would like to say on record, I really regret not bringing shorts. Thank you.